God's grace and peace to you, my friends. Over the next few weeks, we'll be talking about our Lenten display. A little bit by little bit each week. If you want to leave it all dressed up, great. That's how it looks at my house. You'll see mine right here. But each week we'll be looking at a few of the items through our display. So I invite you to join me in the items that week. Regardless, I hope during this Lenten time that you can engage in a moment of Sabbath time and a time of intentional quiet and reflection to join us in celebrating and thinking about all of the ways that this Lenten season leads us to both darkness and immense joy in the morning of Easter. So I leave you with this prayer from Walter Brueggemann. The news is that God's wind is blowing, that it may be a breeze that cools and comforts. It may be a gust that summons you to notice. It may be a storm that blows you where you have never been before. Wherever the wind is in your life, pay attention to it. And the blessing of God, the Father, the Son, and the Spirit will abide with you always. Let's take a moment and worship together.
Redemption's hill, where your blood was spilled, my ransom. Everything holds so dear, I count it all as lost. Lead me to the cross, where your love poured out. Bring me to my knees. Lord, I lay me down. Rid me of myself, I belong to you. Oh, lead me to the cross. You were as I, tempted and tried. You were. The Word became flesh, bore my sin and death. Now you're risen. Everything on so dear, I count it all as lost. Lead me to the cross, where your love poured out. Bring me to my knees, Lord, I lay me down. Rid me of myself, I belong to you. Oh, lead me to the cross, where my love poured out. Bring me to my knees, Lord, I lay me down. Rid me of myself, I belong to you. Oh, lead me to the cross.
While there are many scriptures about the cross, here are two from the Gospels. First, from the Gospel of Matthew, we read, "As they went out, they came upon a man from Cyrene named Simon. They compelled this man to carry his cross." And from the Gospel of John, "So they took Jesus, and carrying the cross by himself, he went to what is called the place of the skull, which in Hebrew is called Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with two others, one on either side, with Jesus between them."
Spirit
This week, in our display, we're going to be talking specifically about the cross. So if you're dressed up on your display, I invite you to take it apart. But I just want you to take a peek and look. This is pretty. It was crafted with love. It was taken care of so that we can all celebrate. But the story of the cross in our life of faith together is not such a thing. If you want to take your hand and feel this, it's rough. It may look nice. It may feel like a nice symbol, but this is a rough thing. The cross in the ancient world was a symbol of terror, a symbol of murder. It was used not just to kill, but to humiliate. People would be bound to a cross and hung until they suffocated. It was absolutely excruciating, and it never went quick. And it was only done to those who really irked somebody off. Some of you may remember the movie Spartacus, right? The story that you may not know about this is what the Greeks and then the Romans did. They would take people and nail them to crosses along the road so that when you traveled into their areas of power, you had no other way but to notice the agony and just the utter desolation that would come if you crossed those in charge. The cross is a symbol of destruction. And yet, in our community, in Christian communities around the world, the cross has become a symbol of victory. I've always found this very odd, that this would be the symbol we would choose over everything else, that we would take the instrument of death and turn it into something we would hold up high as a symbol of power. Part of that is because you'll notice our cross is empty. The one who they crucified did not remain. So there's some power in that. But the other piece is to say that this thing right here not only was created to make terror and cause pain and anguish, but we have claimed it in a way of ourselves to say that we too choose this. Not because we like to suffer, not because we want to be harmed, but because in choosing the type of death that Christ chose, we too join in that same resurrection with Christ. So as we go through this Lenten series, as we talk about all the different ways that this is how we identify, even celebrate our faith, I invite you from time to time to feel the roughness, to remind yourself that the beauty that might look from this well put together display is a reminder that even as bad as it gets, this thing stays empty after time.
On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross until my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for the found.
Oh, that old rugged cross, so despised by the world, has a wondrous attraction for me. For the dear Lamb of God left his glory upon to bear it to dark Calvary. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross
cross, stained with blood so divine, so wondrous a beauty I see. For 'twas on that old cross Jesus suffered and died to pardon and sanctify me. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown.
To the old rugged cross I will ever be true, its shame and reproach gladly bear. Then he'll call on someday to my home far away, where his glory forever I'll share. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown.
And now, await God's presence, not as you expect, hope, or imagine, but just as it is in this moment.
Allow a sense of God's presence to come and be what it is, no matter your expectations.
Accept as a gift whatever comes or does not come. Accept that you are not in charge. Accept the infinity of God's presence.
Attend where you are called, to all the ways God invites you into the work of God's kingdom. Until we meet again, amen.
God be with you till we meet again. By his counsel's guide uphold you. With his sheep securely fold you. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. Neath his wings protecting hide you. Daily manna still provide you. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. If life's peril should confine